Chapter 1: The Woman History Forgot. In 1945, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded for one of the most important discoveries of the 20th century. Nuclear fission, the splitting of the atom, the key that unlocked the atomic age. One man received the prize, Otto Hahn, but there was someone else. Someone whose calculations made it possible. Someone whose brilliance solved the puzzle. Someone who was written out of the story. Her name was Lise Meitner, and this is how the world tried to erase her.
Vienna, 1878.
Lise Meitner was born into a Jewish family in Austria, at a time when women were not allowed to attend university, at a time when science was a man's world. But Lise didn't care about the rules. She was captivated by physics, by the invisible forces that held the universe together. Her father believed in her. He hired private tutors. She studied in secret. In 1901, Austria finally allowed women into universities. Lise was one of the first. She earned her doctorate in physics in 1906, one of only a handful of women in the entire field. She was brilliant, she was determined, and she was just getting started. Berlin, 1907. Lise moved to Germany to work with the great chemist Otto Hahn. They were an unlikely pair. He was a chemist, she was a physicist, but together they were unstoppable. For 30 years, they worked side by side, discovering new elements, pushing the boundaries of atomic science. Lise was the theorist, the one who understood the mathematics, the one who saw what others couldn't. But as the 1930s arrived, darkness was rising. The Nazi Party came to power. Jewish scientists were being expelled, stripped of their positions, erased from institutions. Lise was Jewish, and suddenly her life's work was in danger.
1938.
Lise Meitner had become a target. The Nazis revoked her Austrian citizenship. She was trapped in Germany, a Jewish scientist in the heart of the Third Reich. Her colleagues helped her escape. A desperate secret plan, she fled across the border into the Netherlands, with nothing but a small suitcase. And her mind. She lost her lab, her position, her partnership with Hahn. But she didn't stop working. From exile in Sweden, she continued her research, writing letters, solving equations, refusing to be silenced, even as the world tried to erase her. December 1938. Otto Hahn sent Lise a letter. He and his team had bombarded uranium with neutrons. The results made no sense. The uranium had split into lighter elements. But how? It defied everything they knew. Hahn was confused. Lise was not. She understood. During a winter walk with her nephew, physicist Otto Frisch, she worked it out. The uranium nucleus had split in two. Nuclear fission. She calculated the energy released. It was enormous. She had unlocked the secret of the atom. She wrote to Hahn. She explained the physics. She gave him the answer. But when Hahn published the discovery, he barely mentioned her name. 1944. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded for the discovery of nuclear fission. The recipient, Otto Hahn. Alone, Lise Meitner's name was not included, not even mentioned. The Nobel Committee ignored her contributions, ignored her calculations, ignored the fact that she had explained what Hahn could not. She was a woman, she was Jewish, she was in exile, and so history moved on without her. Hahn accepted the prize. He gave speeches. He became famous, and Lise watched from the shadows. The woman who split the atom, denied the recognition she deserved. The world changed because of her work. Nuclear fission became the foundation of the atomic bomb.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
The Manhattan Project used her discovery. But Lise wanted no part of it. She refused to work on the bomb. She called it a tragedy, a perversion of science. After the war, the world entered the atomic age. Nuclear power, nuclear weapons. A new era of energy and destruction, all built on the science she helped create. But her name remained in the footnotes, a ghost in the history books. While men took credit for her genius, Lise Meitner lived to be 89 years old. She never received the Nobel Prize, but slowly the world began to remember. Scientists spoke her name. Historians uncovered the truth. In 1966, she received the Enrico Fermi Award, alongside Otto Hahn. Finally, some recognition. In 1997, element 109 was named Meitnerium. Her name, forever in the periodic table. A small justice, but the Nobel Prize never came. The greatest recognition in science, denied to the woman who made it possible. She died in 1968, knowing she had been erased, but also knowing the truth. Lise Meitner's story is not just about science. It's about erasure, about how history is written by those in power, about how women, especially Jewish women, were written out of their own achievements. She split the atom, but they tried to erase her name. She changed the world, but they gave the credit to a man. Her brilliance could not be contained, not by borders, not by prejudice, not by history. Today we remember Lise Meitner, not as a footnote, but as a pioneer, a genius, a woman who refused to be silenced. She split the atom, and in doing so, she split open the future. Her name will not be forgotten again. Sources: 1 Nobel Prize Archive 1944 Chemistry Prize Otto Hahn only. .nobelprize.org prizes 3/King4-4/summary. Confirms Hahn received the prize alone and Meitner was excluded. 2 Nature 1939 Meitner and Frisch paper explaining nuclear fission. Disintegration of uranium by neutrons, a new type of nuclear reaction. Shows Meitner provided the theoretical explanation in calculations. 3 Max Planck Society biography of Lise Meitner.
ATTIP Dienst 379 Lise Meitner.
Details her role, exile, escape from Nazi Germany, and collaboration with Hahn. 4 American Physical Society Lise Meitner biography. Het.aps.org publication news 2003 history.cfm. Confirms her co-discovery of fission and the Nobel omission. 5 Smithsonian National Museum of American History. Lise Meitner and the discovery of nuclear fission.